Have you ever noticed how, as the years stretch behind you, the world doesn't get louder, it gets quieter? It's in the way morning light no longer rushes in through the window, but lingers softly on the floor, as if waiting for you to be ready. It's in the way laughter changes, less about volume, more about meaning. It's in the stillness after a conversation ends when you realize the most powerful things you've learned were never taught aloud. There comes a season in life, not marked by age on a calendar, but by the way your heart begins to ask different questions. You start to wonder, why did that loss break me the way it did? Why did I wait so long to forgive? Why do the small, quiet moments bring more peace now than all the noise of ambition ever did? In this space, in this gentle pause between all you've lived and all that's still ahead, lie the lessons that change everything. Not the kind you memorize, but the kind you become. In this video, we'll explore 7 of the most soul-deep truths learned not from textbooks, but from time, from pain, from choosing again and again to keep growing. If this reflection already feels familiar to you, leave a comment below. And if you're ready to journey inward, we'd be honored to have you subscribe to Olive Wisdom, because sometimes what we need most is not answers, but a quiet reminder that we're not walking this part of the road alone. 1. Embracing hardship and failure as growth. The instinct to play it safe, that little voice urging you towards comfort and predictability, might just be the riskiest move you can make in life. It feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? We naturally shy away from hardship, mistakes, and the sharp sting of failure, thinking we're protecting ourselves. But here's the catch. This constant avoidance, this deep-seated fear of falling down, can quietly trap us on a flat, unchanging plateau. We end up merely coasting through life, too afraid to aim for the peaks because we dread the potential valleys. Consequently, by dodging every possible stumble, we inadvertently wall ourselves off from the richest sources of learning, strength, and self-discovery. That safe harbor we build might feel secure, but like a ship that never sails, it prevents us from finding new horizons or even realizing the true purpose of our journey. It's often our own hesitation, fueled by the fear of, what if I fail? That becomes the biggest barrier to achieving something truly meaningful. But what if we flip the script? What if we embraced a perspective, often echoed in timeless wisdom, that understands challenges and setbacks aren't just potential hazards, but fundamental ingredients for a well-lived life? Accepting this doesn't mean seeking out pain, but rather recognizing its power to shape and refine us. When we stop seeing mistakes as dead ends and start viewing them as crucial stepping stones, the entire landscape of possibility opens up. It means understanding that every difficulty carries within it the seed of resilience. Every failure holds a lesson, and every hardship can forge strength. This shift in thinking reveals that failure isn't the opposite of success, but often a vital part of the path towards it. It's precisely through navigating these choppy waters that we build the inner fortitude needed to reach our most desired destinations. This naturally cultivates that essential quality, resilience, alongside the powerful habit of learning from every experience, especially the tough ones. True resilience isn't about never getting knocked down. It's about the grit and grace we muster to get back up, often a little wiser and more capable than before. Think about it. Any skill worth having, from mastering a craft to building strong relationships, involves trial, error, and adjustment. When we approach life's inevitable hurdles with a curious and constructive mindset, asking, what can I learn from this? Rather than, why did this happen to me? We transform potential defeats into valuable intel. Sure, it requires the courage to face discomfort and the humility to acknowledge we don't have all the answers. But this approach turns the entire experience from one of potential shame into one of active growth and forward momentum. And isn't there a profound truth in the saying, first it hurts, then it makes you stronger? That initial impact of things going wrong is undeniably real. It can bring frustration, sadness, or doubt. The key, however, lies in processing that hurt without letting it paralyze us. The strength emerges not from avoiding the pain, but from moving through it, extracting the wisdom, and carrying on. Remembering past struggles you've overcome, "I've handled tough stuff before," becomes fuel for tackling present challenges. Sometimes it even feels necessary for old ways or situations to completely fall apart to make space for something new and better to take root. These moments of breakdown, though difficult, can become incredibly fertile ground for breakthroughs if we trust the process and our ability to rebuild. Ultimately, embracing hardship isn't about enjoying pain. It's about understanding the fundamental rhythm of growth, recognizing that pressure creates diamonds, and the most rewarding paths are rarely the smoothest ones. The power of discipline and continuous self-development. Imagine standing at a crossroads, a choice you face not just once, but countless times each day. Do you take the smooth, downhill path of immediate comfort, or do you steel yourself for the uphill climb towards a future you truly desire? This isn't just a metaphor, it's the constant internal negotiation we navigate. The allure of the comfortable bed, that easy choice, the procrastination, the fleeting pleasure, is incredibly powerful. It whispers promises of relief right now. Yet consistently yielding to the siren song does more than just delay our goals. It subtly trains us for a life less lived. Each time we opt for instant gratification over meaningful effort, we're not merely avoiding difficulty, we're inadvertently reinforcing habits that pave the way for future regret and unfulfilled potential. It's a quiet drift towards mediocrity, fueled by the illusion that avoiding short-term discomfort is the safest route, when in reality, it's the surest way to strand our ambitions. So how do we resist this powerful current pulling us towards ease and away from our aspirations? The essential counterforce, the muscle we must build and flex daily, is self-discipline. This isn't about rigid self-punishment, but rather the profound ability to make a conscious, empowered choice. The choice, as it's often said, between what you want now and what you want most. It's the internal compass that allows you to pause, assess whether an action aligns with your ultimate vision, and then act accordingly, even when it's difficult. But discipline, while crucial for steering the ship, needs fuel and a destination. This is precisely where its inseparable partner, continuous self-development, comes into play. Think of it this way. Discipline provides the consistent engine power, while self-development provides the map, the upgrades, and the skills needed for the journey. It's the active commitment to work on yourself relentlessly, learning, growing, refining your mind and abilities, understanding that you are the primary instrument through which all your goals will be achieved. The combined power of these two forces is transformative, promising not just incremental gains, but the potential for significant achievement, be it material success, making a fortune in impact or wealth, mastery in your field, or deep personal fulfillment. Ultimately, it grants you mastery over your own impulses and directs your focus with intention. These twin pillars, self-discipline and personal development, are therefore fundamental. Discipline is the unwavering commitment to your future self, the ability to execute on your intentions regardless of mood. Personal development is the ongoing investment in enhancing your capabilities, knowledge, and character, ensuring you have more to offer and are better equipped for challenges. Living this disciplined, growth-oriented life inevitably leads to a powerful realization, one often captured in the phrase, "Discipline makes today hard, but tomorrow easier." That initial resistance, the effort required today, builds strength, resilience, and momentum. The tasks that once felt monumental become manageable. The future becomes easier, not because the challenges disappear, but because you become stronger, more capable, and better prepared. You also discover a fascinating side effect. When your energy is intensely channeled into working on yourself, into your own growth and improvement, there's simply less bandwidth and inclination left for criticizing others. Your focus shifts inward and upward. This dedicated, disciplined pursuit of becoming better each day isn't just about self-improvement. It's the very engine that drives you towards the extraordinary, enabling you to become what no one else can become, precisely because you embrace the necessary difficulty today that others shied away from. 3. Purposeful action and valuing experience. Have you ever found yourself working incredibly hard, pouring sweat and effort into something, only to feel like you're stuck in place, or worse, actually moving backward? This frustrating feeling often arises when our effort lacks a crucial element: clear direction. As the saying goes, rowing harder doesn't help if the boat is headed in the wrong direction. We can exert all our energy, putting in more hours than anyone else. But if those efforts aren't aimed at a worthy, strategically planned goal, we're simply spinning our wheels. It's a common trap, the glorification of busyness over effectiveness. A parallel and equally perilous issue is our tendency to focus excessively on accumulating material possessions, believing that owning more equates to a better life. We chase the latest car, the bigger house, the fancier gadgets, yet often overlook or undervalue the deep, lasting worth of actual experiences. The trips taken, the new skills learned, the meaningful relationships forged, or simply moments of full presence. This pursuit of stuff, much like directionless effort, can leave us feeling ultimately empty, realizing we've traded what truly matters for things that offer only fleeting satisfaction. So how do we break free from these unproductive cycles and steer towards a genuinely successful and rich life? The answer lies in embracing purposeful action and shifting our perception of value. Instead of just working hard, we need to work smart, ensuring our efforts are invested in the right goals, objectives that truly resonate with us and align with our core values. This requires reflection, planning, and sometimes the courage to say no to things that keep us busy, but don't move us closer to where we ultimately want to be. You cannot expect to harvest where you haven't planted. Success demands laying the right groundwork, nurturing the right seeds through consistent, strategic actions. Running parallel to this purposeful action is the transformation towards valuing experiences over possessions. When we begin to recognize that memories are the real treasures, our priorities shift. We start investing in creating rich memories, learning from challenges, expanding our horizons through adventures, and connecting deeply with others. These experiences shape us, teach us lessons no book can provide, and build an inner wealth that cannot be lost or become obsolete. At the heart of this are two key concepts: strategic action and experiential value. Strategic action means merging effort with insight. Knowing why you're doing something and ensuring how you're doing it is the most effective path to the desired outcome. Experiential value is the acknowledgement that life's true richness lies not in what we have in our bank accounts or storage units, but in the breadth and depth of what we have lived, learned, and felt. From a personal perspective, this leads to a profound understanding. You don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. This realization completely changes how we approach work and life. It emphasizes that results and impact are the true measures, not just time spent. Your effort needs clear objectives to create that value. And looking back, you realize that the memories created, the lessons learned from both successes and failures, the relationships built through shared experiences, these are the most valuable assets, the things that truly enrich the tapestry of your life. By focusing on purposeful action and cherishing every experience, we not only avoid wasted energy, but also build a life of genuine meaning filled with real treasures. 4. Mind control, positivity, and patience. There's an incredibly powerful force silently shaping every aspect of your life, from your success to your happiness. Interestingly, this force isn't found in the external world, but rather within the complex and marvelous mechanism operating right between your ears, your mind. This mind is truly a double-edged sword. It can be your strongest muscle, propelling you toward amazing achievements. Yet if left unchecked and undirected, it easily becomes your worst enemy. When the mind isn't trained, it readily becomes fertile ground for negativity to take root, trapping us in cycles of replaying failures, fearing rejection, or focusing only on perceived lacks. This negativity acts like a heavy anchor, weighing us down and making forward momentum seem incredibly difficult, if not impossible. Flowing alongside this negativity is our common struggle against impatience. In a world often demanding instant results, pursuing meaningful goals, which are almost always a slow process, becomes challenging and easily leads to frustration. We often crave the final harvest without recognizing the necessary season of cultivation, forgetting that all sustainable growth requires time to nurture. Then worry creeps in, particularly the insidious fear of worrying about losing what we currently possess or failing to attain what we deeply desire. This worry consumes mental space, diverting focus from constructive action and trapping us in self-created worst-case scenarios. Essentially, allowing negativity, impatience, and worry to dominate our inner world is akin to handing over control of our journey to our most fearful and short-sighted impulses, effectively sabotaging our own progress and well-being. However, the crucial point is that you possess the full capacity to change this internal state. The path to regaining control involves actively training your mind, much like strengthening any other muscle, while simultaneously cultivating a resiliently positive outlook and consistently practicing the virtue of patience. Training the mind isn't about forcefully suppressing thoughts, but rather about developing the awareness to recognize and choose which thoughts to nourish and empower. It requires identifying harmful patterns and deliberately shifting focus towards solutions, opportunities, and genuine gratitude. Concurrently, maintaining a positive outlook doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. Instead, it means facing them with the core belief that challenges can be overcome, setbacks are valuable lessons, and progress, however small, is always possible. This mental fortitude forms a solid foundation. Complementing this mental strength, patience plays an indispensable role. Truly understanding and accepting that significant accomplishments and deep personal growth rarely happen overnight empowers you to persevere through the inevitable challenges and plateaus. Patience nurtures resilience and provides the necessary space for your vision to grow clear with time. Rushing complex processes often leads only to errors, frustration, and burnout, whereas patience allows for thoughtful planning, careful execution, and sustainable effort over the long haul. It embodies a quiet confidence that something worthwhile is being built, layer by layer, even when immediate results aren't obvious, because it stems from the deep understanding that true value, what lasts won't come easy, inherently requires time and dedication. As you genuinely integrate and apply these principles in your life, a profound personal transformation begins to unfold. Consequently, you learn the vital importance of guarding well your thoughts, understanding they are the seeds from which all your actions and outcomes grow. You also develop an enhanced ability to remain centered and calm amidst turbulence, choosing not to merely react instinctively to every annoyance or setback, but instead to respond consciously and constructively. Gradually, a deeper trust in the unfolding process takes root, accompanied by the acceptance that delays might actually serve a purpose, perhaps allowing for essential learning, necessary adjustments in circumstances, or more thorough preparation. You start to see that waiting isn't necessarily passive. It can be an active state of readiness and allowing, acknowledging that the most meaningful things in life are often worth the wait, and perhaps understanding that sometimes delays happen for reasons we'll appreciate later. Ultimately, mastering your inner world through deliberate positivity and patient perseverance doesn't just alter how you feel day to day. It fundamentally reshapes what you can achieve and experience in life. 5. Priorities and finite time. We often find ourselves adrift in a sea of perceived obligations, constantly feeling too busy, as if external forces entirely dictate our schedules and energy levels. This sensation of being perpetually overwhelmed, pulled in countless directions by emails, requests, social pressures, and an endless stream of information, is a common modern affliction. The underlying problem isn't necessarily a lack of time itself, but rather a diffusion of focus, a state where we allow the urgent, the noisy, or the demands of others to consistently overshadow what is genuinely important to us. We react rather than act. Consequently, our most significant goals languish, our most meaningful relationships may feel neglected, and a persistent sense of dissatisfaction can arise because we feel like passengers in our own lives, steered by external currents rather than our internal compass. We end up investing precious hours and finite energy into tasks or interactions that don't align with our core values or contribute to our long-term vision, simply because they presented themselves most insistently or because we felt obligated to say yes. This reactive state prevents us from making deliberate choices about where our most valuable resource, our time, should truly be invested. The antidote to this pervasive feeling of busyness and lack of control lies in embracing priority management. This isn't merely about scheduling tasks more efficiently. It's a deeper, more fundamental shift towards consciously recognizing and acting upon what holds the most significance in your life. It involves asking critical questions. What truly matters to me? What goals am I genuinely committed to achieving? Which relationships nourish and support me? Who deserves my focused attention and energy? Priority management is about shifting from a reactive stance where you are constantly responding to external stimuli to a proactive one where you intentionally allocate your time and energy based on your own defined values and objectives. It requires the clarity of mind we discussed earlier, the ability to look beyond the immediate noise and identify the activities and people that align with your purpose and contribute meaningfully to your well-being and growth. This brings us to a powerful, sometimes confronting, personal perspective. No one is too busy, it's only a matter of priorities. When someone consistently fails to make time for you or for commitments they've made, it's rarely because they literally have zero available minutes. More accurately, it reveals where you or that commitment falls on their list of priorities. Understanding this isn't about fostering resentment, but about achieving clarity. It's an observation of behavior reflecting underlying choices. Conversely, and perhaps more importantly, this realization empowers you to apply the same principle to your own life. It necessitates becoming consciously, and perhaps selectively, selfish with your time. Not in a detrimental, uncaring way, but in the sense of fiercely protecting this non-renewable resource. It means recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and should be allocated discerningly to the people and pursuits that genuinely deserve them. It means having the courage to say no to requests that don't align with your priorities, setting boundaries to protect your focus, and consciously choosing to invest fully in the areas you have identified as most important. By actively engaging in priority management, identifying what truly matters and allocating your time accordingly, you reclaim agency over your life. You move from feeling overwhelmed and scattered to feeling focused and purposeful. This deliberate allocation ensures your energy flows towards activities that propel you towards your goals and nurtures the relationships that enrich your life. It means accepting that you cannot do everything or be everything to everyone, and making peace with that reality by choosing quality over quantity in your commitments. This conscious selection, this guarding of your time based on clear priorities, is not just a productivity technique. It's a fundamental act of self-respect and a critical component in building a fulfilling life aligned with your deepest values and aspirations, ensuring that your finite time serves the vision you hold for yourself. 6. Self-reliance and cautious trust. Ever felt that little sting of disappointment when someone you really counted on just wasn't there, especially when the chips were down? It's a tough feeling, right? We're wired to connect, to lean on each other. That's what makes families, friendships, and communities so special. But sometimes we can lean a little too hard, or maybe we offer our trust too quickly, like handing over a precious key without really checking who we're giving it to. The tricky part is, people aren't always what they seem on the surface. You know how salt and sugar look the same? Well, sometimes kindness and good intentions can be mimicked, and it's hard to tell the genuine article from a convincing copy. The real test, unfortunately, often comes when things get difficult, when we find ourselves in darkness, metaphorically speaking. That's when a broken trust or an unreliable shoulder feels the most painful. It's that sinking feeling when you realize you put too much of your own stability or happiness in someone else's hands, and they either couldn't or wouldn't hold it steady when the ground started shaking. But here's the good news. The brighter path forward, you absolutely can build a kind of inner strength, a safe harbor right inside yourself that protects you from the worst of that fallout. It's about learning to rely more on your own capabilities, becoming self-reliant, and getting a bit wiser, more prudent about who you let into your inner circle and how much you depend on them. Think of it like building your own sturdy foundation, so even if the occasional storm rages outside or someone lets you down, you've still got solid ground beneath your feet. This inner strength acts like a shield, helping you bounce back quicker and keeping your heart safer from unnecessary hurt. So what does this self-reliance and prudence combo actually look like? Self-reliance isn't about becoming a hermit or refusing all help. It's more about building confidence in yourself. It's knowing you have the smarts to figure things out, the grit to get through tough times, and the ability to make good decisions for yourself, even if you're standing alone. It's that quiet inner voice saying, "Okay, this is hard, but I've got this." Prudence, then, is like being a wise gatekeeper for your trust. It's not about being suspicious of everyone, but about taking your time. It means watching how people act over time. Do their actions match their words? Are they consistent? It's understanding that deep trust isn't something you give away freely like candy. It's something precious that's earned, step by step, through reliability and genuine care. It's learning to look past the shiny surface, to tell the difference between the salt and the sugar. There's a saying that really hits home here. Don't depend too much on anyone. Even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness. It sounds a bit harsh at first, but think about it. When the lights go out, your shadow vanishes. It's a powerful reminder that external things, even things seemingly attached to us, can disappear when circumstances change. The one person who is always with you, through thick and thin, is you. So learning to trust yourself first, your gut feelings, your experiences, your resilience, is incredibly important. Being a little wary, a little careful about who you pour your heart out to or rely heavily upon isn't about being unfriendly. It's about smart self-care. It's about choosing wisely who gets your precious time and vulnerability. Ultimately, building this self-reliance and practicing careful trust isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating a strong, centered you. When you operate from that place of inner security, you can actually form healthier connections with others. Relationships built on mutual respect and earn trust, not shaky dependency. It means you can face life's inevitable bumps without crumbling, navigate disappointments with more grace, and protect your own peace of mind by knowing that, come what may, you have the strength within you to handle it. 7. Protecting privacy and inner peace. In this age of share it all, have you ever noticed that sometimes the most precious moments, the biggest dreams, or even just a simple feeling of happiness, feel safer and more real when you keep them tucked away, just for yourself, at least for a little while? It's a counterintuitive thought in our hyper-connected world, where the pressure often feels like we need to broadcast everything. But think about it. Have you ever shared exciting news only to have someone's negativity pop your balloon? Or opened up about a struggle and received judgment instead of comfort? That's the tricky side of telling people everything. When we lay our lives completely bare, without considering who we're sharing with or why, we inadvertently make ourselves vulnerable. Our fresh ideas can get trampled by doubt before they take root. Our joy can be dimmed by envy or criticism, and our private challenges can unfortunately become public fodder. Beyond that, constantly curating our lives for an audience and worrying about how every little thing is perceived is simply exhausting. It pulls our energy away from actually living and leaves us feeling exposed and far from the calm we crave. That feeling of vulnerability and exhaustion is exactly why the idea of pulling back, of intentionally guarding our privacy, holds such powerful promise. It's not about being secretive or antisocial. It's about reclaiming your energy and protecting your inner world. Imagine the relief of nurturing a dream quietly, letting it grow strong before you unveil it. Picture the peace that comes from knowing your happiness doesn't depend on external validation. This is the reward when you learn to keep it quiet if it makes you happy, cherishing those personal joys and plans without needing immediate feedback. It also involves becoming more discerning, like a wise curator of your own life story, choosing carefully who earns the right to hear your deeper thoughts and vulnerabilities, those true confidants who handle your trust with care. And for the inevitable negativity or pointless drama that floats by, discovering that silence is the best answer is liberating. Refusing to engage, refusing to pour your precious energy into pointless arguments, preserves your tranquility like nothing else. The tools we use to build this protective space and cultivate that calm are personal boundaries and inner peace. Think of personal boundaries less like rigid walls and more like a velvet rope around your VIP section, your inner life. You are the gatekeeper. You decide what information crosses the rope, who gets invited into the closer circle, and what kind of external noise you allow to affect your internal atmosphere. Setting these boundaries might mean politely declining to discuss certain topics, limiting time with draining people, or simply choosing not to share every detail online. Inner peace is the beautiful, serene state you nurture within those boundaries. It's the calm resilience that grows when you stop letting external chaos dictate your internal weather. Prioritizing this peace means consciously choosing thoughts, actions, and interactions that nourish your spirit and gently distancing yourself from those that deplete it. Living with these boundaries and prioritizing that inner calm often leads people to a simple yet profound realization, perfectly captured by the phrase small circle, private life, peaceful mind. It reflects the wisdom that deep, trusting connections with a few are often more fulfilling than surface-level interactions with many. Keeping significant aspects of your journey private, your major goals, the nuances of your relationships, your personal growth, acts like a protective greenhouse, allowing things to develop authentically without undue interference. It minimizes the risk of your personal story being twisted or used carelessly, and dramatically cuts down on the mental clutter caused by too much external input. So you see, protecting your privacy and being selective isn't about hiding from the world. It's a strategic act of self-preservation and self-respect. It's about conserving your vital energy for what truly matters, fostering genuine connections built on earned trust, and creating a haven of inner peace where you can recharge, reflect, and navigate life from a place of centered strength. It's about building a life that feels deeply right and peaceful on the inside, regardless of the noise outside. So maybe that's what time gives us if we're willing to listen. Not just years, but clarity. Not just experiences, but meaning. Each lesson we've shared today about failure, discipline, patience, self-trust, and guarding what truly matters isn't just advice. It's a thread, woven quietly through the fabric of a life that chose to keep growing even when it hurt, that chose reflection over regret. And perhaps the most tender truth of all is this: you were never meant to get it all right. You were meant to learn, to unfold, to become. So wherever you are on your path, whether you're just beginning to slow down and listen, or you've carried these truths in your heart for decades, may you walk forward a little lighter, a little clearer, and a little more at peace with who you are. If one of these reflections stayed with you today, we'd love to know which one and why. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you'd like more moments like this, gentle, honest, and human, we'd be honored if you'd subscribe to Olive Wisdom. Until next time, take care of your heart and trust the wisdom that's always been quietly waiting within you.